party and the Nick Cannon party don't stop.
Where romantic gestures are grander than grand.
When Mariah and Nick do anything, they do it really big. They can afford to, why not?
Wardrobes are vast.
This is Valentino.
She has a shoe room, and it's much bigger than my apartment. Her shoes look better than I do.
And diamonds are a boy's best friend.
Nick is one of the best clients I have.
I'm taking it to the next level.
This power couple's bankroll is a force to be reckoned with.
Nick and Mariah together are one of the richest couples in the world.
Absolutely.
Their houses are larger than life.
So fabulous. It's such an incredible place.
And their kids get the best money can buy.
AFK Furniture graces the rooms of Kobe Bryant's children, Jennifer Lopez, of course, Mariah Carey.
Pretty standard, really.
Get ready to indulge.
I've been excited about this forever.
This is the fabulous life of Mariah Carey and Nick Cannon.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm so ready. I can't wait.
Mr. and Mrs. Cannon tied the knot at Mariah's $5.5 million estate in the Bahamas. Guest list, 24 friends flown in on private jets, and enough Maine lobster and Dom Perignon for everyone to party like royalty.
Amazing. It's wonderful. It's the best thing that's ever happened.
That is just absolutely their style. It's low profile to a certain extent, but they're still going to wow people. They still have to feed their guests, and they're going to feed their guests well.
They put guests up at the nearby Pineapple Fields Hotel, which goes for about $250 a night. In order to accommodate all of the guests, they booked out about 28 out of the 32 rooms.
That's around 14 grand just to put their pals up for 2 nights. Nick and Mariah spared no expense on their nuptials. But when it comes to parties, this super couple was just getting started. Since getting married in 2008, the happy couple have renewed their vows every April, and each anniversary gets more and more extravagant.
Nick Cannon is definitely a romantic guy. When they renewed their vows in 2012, they did it on top of the Eiffel Tower. I mean, talk about the most romantic place in the world.
Nick and Mariah traveled to France via private jet for at least $100,000 and celebrated with an intimate ceremony after a romantic dinner at Le Jules Verne restaurant just after midnight.
Renewing your vows at the top of the Eiffel Tower is not a cheap thing to do. But Nick didn't care. All he cares about is being romantic and pleasing his wife.
Make that the priority and everything else comes after that.
Très chic. How do you top that? Easy, if you've got the cash. For their 5th anniversary in 2013, the happy couple rented out the happiest place on earth, Disneyland. The nighttime ceremony in Mickey's stomping grounds cost them a reported $180,000 for 250 guests. And that doesn't include the extras. And you know there were extras. Like fireworks that went off at the moment they kissed. They also had a 9-tier cake, 15,000 floral blossoms, and 10,000 crystals to decorate the affair that took nearly a year to plan.
It was cool. It was worth it.
I didn't even know you can rent out Disneyland. They rented it out like Chuck E. Cheese.
The Cinderella-inspired gown Mariah wore was designed by Lazaro Perez and retails for $6,500. Her headpiece, a little over $1,000. Not bad for a bride that was already married.
Really cool that they get so into renewing their vows each and every year, and they really just lived out a fairy tale and made it extravagant. They spared no expense and clearly had a ball.
Here I am, and trying to be happy and have a good time and enjoy my life.
This marriage started like any other, with bling. Really big bling. Nick proposed here, on the top floor of her uber-posh Tribeca apartment. And you'd better believe he did it with style.
When Nick decided to propose to Mariah, he wanted to do something really meaningful. And he knew that she loved ring pops. So he put the ring in a ring pop wrapper.
Inside the wrapper, there wasn't a jaw-breaking lollipop worth 50 cents. Oh no. It was a jaw-dropping engagement ring worth $2.5 million. Rock candy, anyone? Oh yeah.
He gave her a ring that was not much smaller than an actual ring pop. I mean, the thing is huge.
Jacob Arabo, a.k.a. Jacob the Jeweler, worked closely with Nick to design the most expensive engagement ring he's ever made.
It is a 17-carat stunner. It has a 10-carat pink diamond that is square emerald cut in the center, with 58 smaller pink diamonds around it and 2 half-moon-shaped diamonds on it. I honestly think that you can see this thing from the moon.
Talk about a sparkler. And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Who's it by? This is a vintage Cartier piece. This is from my husband.
When Nick and Mariah want to up their bling game, they go to this guy.
We are the go-to jeweler for some of the world's biggest celebrities and VIPs. Nick is one of the best clients I have. He wanted to come out with something very special for their 2nd anniversary. The second we proposed this idea of a diamond-encrusted ring pop, his jaw dropped to the floor. This ring pop that Nick got from Mariah is truly a unique, one-of-a-kind piece. We've got over 8.5 carats of flawless white and pink diamonds. It is true to size and has a value of over $50,000.
For their 3rd anniversary and the day their twins Moroccan and Monroe were born, Nick had Jason create a $12,000 sapphire and diamond nameplate necklace for Mariah. Adorbs. Nick has also splurged on some big-ticket baubles for himself, like this $500,000 diamond-encrusted watch that he wore to the 2013 Halo Awards.
Nick really wanted to make a statement. He wanted to have a watch that was over the top and really represented his lifestyle. So we had to come with something very special. This masterpiece is a one-of-a-kind timepiece. You're talking about over 2,000 individual stones, over 100 carats of flawless white diamonds, all set onto 18-carat rose gold. You're not going to find many watches like this. In fact, this is the only one of its kind throughout the world. A watch like this is valued at over $500,000.
When it comes to blinged out watches, Nick knows what time it is. But nothing comes close to his most recent purchase.
Now this is one of the most amazing pieces Nick has ever asked me to do. We have here a Tom Ford loafer that belongs to Nick, and we're going to reconstruct the entire top to create a 150 to 200 carat diamond shoe, which will go down as the world's most expensive shoe. This shoe will be well over $2 million in the end.
Total spent in Jason's store, over $5 million and counting.
That's cool.
Coming up, a nursery that will have you doing a double take.
I heard from Mariah's assistant that when she walked into the nursery, she cried.
Plus, these pampered pooches are living the dog's life.
In my next life, I'm coming back as one of Mariah Carey's dogs.
And later, Nick's theory on lapping up luxury vehicles.
When you can't have them, you go get them.
All that and more on The Fabulous Life of Mariah Carey and Nick Cannon.
Nick and Mariah were married exactly 3 years to the date that their twins, Moroccan and Monroe, were born.
When your mom and dad are Mariah Carey and Nick Cannon, your life is an endless buffet of luxury, starting in utero.
Wherever Mariah goes, she has to go in style. So, of course, she arrived at the hospital, ready to give birth, in a $400,000 Rolls-Royce Phantom. I mean, talk about making an entrance.
I would expect nothing less than for Mariah and Nick to arrive in style, no matter where they went, including the hospital at which she gave birth.
The parents-to-be had 7 rooms. 1 for Mariah, 1 for Nick's mama, and 1 for their 4 Jack Russell Terriers.
Mariah Carey and Nick Cannon are allowed to have dogs in a hospital. That's crazy. Man, listen, they want to throw me out if you don't put the hand sanitizer on when you come in.
You know, it is what it is.
That wing had to have cost thousands and thousands of dollars, but they don't care. They want to be comfortable, they want to be able to spread out, and they certainly have to have a place for the dogs to stay.
Thank you.
And to make the twins' entrance into this world complete, and completely over the top, Mariah requested that the live version of her song Fantasy be played so the newborns could hear the applause from that recording.
One of the first sounds the twins ever heard in the world was the sound of clapping. And that certainly won't be the last time.
It was amazing.
Bravo! A month before the jewel bundles of joy arrived, Mariah and Nick took nesting to another level. They paid beaucoup bucks to create a nursery fit for a tiny king and queen.
We're the premier source for high-end juvenile furnishings in the world. AFK Furniture graces the rooms of Kobe Bryant's children, Gwen Stefani, Jennifer Lopez, and, of course, Mariah Carey. We had the privilege of actually working on 2 nurseries for Mariah and Nick. The total of those 2 nurseries was over $100,000. When Mariah came in, the very first thing she saw was this hot air balloon chandelier, and she had to have it. The retail value is around $2,300. The cabinetry for Nick and Mariah's nursery gave such ample space for the amazing clothing and shoe collection that had been given to the babies from well-known fashion designers around the world. Our charge for this was $12,000. In this room, we have a mural done by our amazing mural. She painted the most incredible sky for Mariah and Nick. Mariah's ceiling mural and wall mural were about $5,000.
Mariah and Nick decked out 2 nurseries, one in New York and one in LA, with 4 $3,000 cribs. The luxurious fabrics and mobiles added to the cribs were nearly an additional $12,000 in baby accoutrement. But Mariah and Nick weren't done there.
And here we have our Juliet table and chair set, $4,500. This is our Mayfair swivel glider, $3,500. This children's clothes valet is approximately $600. And upstairs we have Oscar, the giraffe, that has graced many rooms since we did Mariah's nursery. Mariah must have loved it so much because soon after she called us to order the same giraffe as her gift to Beyonce and Jay-Z for little Blue Ivy. These are around $1,200. I heard from Mariah's assistant that when she walked into the nursery, she cried. That was the best part of it for me, hearing how happy we had made her.
I've been excited about this forever.
The two toddlers are still just learning to speak, yet they're already making waves. Like hanging out with President Obama and singing on Mariah's album.
If the baby's genes, are anything like their mom and dad's, then they're going to be, rock star singers.
Even though their kids come first, Moroccan and Monroe aren't the only two children that Mariah and Nick spoil.
Nick and Mariah love dogs. They have 8 Jack Russell Terriers that they treat like members of their own family.
At their place in LA, they have a separate doghouse on the property that Nick built because he didn't want the dogs in the main house with them.
And this ain't no typical doghouse. The 8 Jack Russell Terriers have their own human-sized house. This pooch pied-à-terre is a replica of Nick and Mariah's mansion, with a private room for each pup.
You gotta have people going in, cleaning up after the dogs and feeding the dogs and giving them new toys and new luxurious items to make their stay a little more comfy.
Those dogs live better than most people.
And the pampered pooches are also bi-coastal, traveling between New York and LA via private jet with Mama Mariah.
In my next life, I'm coming back as one of Mariah Carey's dogs. I heard one actually rode a limo by himself to go see her in a studio during a taping. I mean, these dogs have the life.
Pretty standard, really.
Coming up, a car that costs more than the average home.
For most people, the Rolls-Royce Phantom is a home on wheels.
Plus, when it comes to Mariah's outfits, it's one and done.
When she's making a statement, she wants to make a statement, and she's not going to make that same statement again.
And later, the Carey Cannons' Home Sweet Homes.
They have everything you could ever dream of right on their properties.
It's a beautiful situation.
When the fabulous life of Mariah Carey and Nick Cannon returns.
Like most celebrities, Mariah and Nick are obsessed with clothes and have very extensive wardrobes.
According to her husband, Nick Cannon, Mariah Carey never wears the same thing twice.
I'm not tripping at all.
And if you were the best-selling female artist of all time with unlimited funds, why on earth would you?
She wears a lot of high-end designer clothes, so she wears a lot of Tom Ford, a lot of Azadine Mariah, but you don't see her wear it again.
This is Valentino, and this is Leger.
When she's making a statement, she wants to make a statement, and she's not going to make that same statement again.
This is Vera Wang.
And with a body like hers, Mariah can pull off all the hottest styles. Like this Hader Ackerman Blackwood dress that retails for $1,040. Or this Lorenz dress that hugged her gorgeous curves for just under $1,400.
The dress is coarse, right? It's a little ensemble. Little being the operative word.
I would describe Mariah's style as unabashedly sexy. She loves to show off her body in crop tops, mini skirts, cocktail dresses. Whatever is showing off a little bit of skin is what Mariah likes.
I don't know that I can define sexy for you. I guess whatever turns you on. I don't know.
And the few times she does cover up, price is never an object.
Mariah!
Like this long-sleeved Roberto Cavalli dress that retails for $2,670. Or this gorgeous red leopard trench coat by Azadine Alaia, which set her back more than $9,000. And this Alexander McQueen honeycomb patent leather and net dress, a mere $13,850.
Mariah is definitely a sexy dress, low cut, high slits or short, and always, always, always in high heels.
Speaking of shoes, Mariah Carey has enough pairs to set up shop.
Everybody loves Christian Louboutin, and Mariah Carey is a huge fan of the red bottoms. She also loves Saint Laurent, Azadine Alaya, Tom Ford, anything that has kind of a high price. That's what Mariah really likes.
She has a shoe room, and it's much bigger than my apartment. Her shoes look better than I do.
Mariah's shoe room has floor-to-ceiling shelves to keep her colossal collection. With reportedly over 1,000 pairs averaging $1,000 each, that's close to $1 million in fancy footwear.
I think every girl dreams of having a full room just dedicated to her favorite accessories.
But Mariah's not the only one with a shoe kick. Hubby Nick Cannon's shoe collection stacks up with the misses.
Nick Cannon has said that he owns around 2,000 pairs of sneakers. If you think each pair is maybe $500, then you're looking at a really expensive shoe collection.
And Nick's no slacker from the ankles up either.
A gentleman is poised, calm, collected, stylish.
He wears a lot of Tom Ford and a lot of Dolce & Gabbana. Very tailored, very luxe, and a lot of colors.
I think Nick is just sort of very dapper. There was less to say about his style before Mariah. I think she probably influenced him just with sort of the luxe nature of her life.
I'm taking it to the next level.
When you see him on a red carpet, he always looks good. They love fancy cars and they love fast cars. You name it, they have it.
When you can't have them, you go get them.
Want proof? Take this Mercedes-Benz G-Class. This black Ferrari California convertible that Mariah bought for Nick after his health issues in 2012.
Mariah Carey bought Nick $250,000 Ferrari as a get-well present. That'll make me feel better.
Nick paid it forward when he gave Mariah a Mercedes SLK R172 around the time of her 42nd birthday.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
But that paled in comparison to the ride Nick purchased for Mariah's 2011 Christmas present, a $400,000 Rolls-Royce Phantom. Feast your eyes on one of the most expensive cars money can buy.
Exotic brands manager here at Manhattan Motor Cars. If you're anyone that wants to buy an exotic luxury car, this is the place to do it. The Rolls-Royce Phantom is a car for heads of state, presidents, for kings and queens, and of course for the show business royalty. This particular vehicle here, outfitted with our coach doors, which are unique to Rolls-Royce. Makes it nice and easy to get in and out of the door. We have our entertainment center, which pops out here and opens up. Everything can be individually controlled from the back seat, which would override the driver. There's a nice little button here, and you can close your door from the inside. When they get to where they're going, if it happens to be raining, the driver just pops a little button here. Out comes the Rolls-Royce umbrella, one on each side. Every Rolls-Royce comes with two of these, and if they happen to lose one, these run around $1,500 a piece. So you want to make sure they get stored right back where they belong, nice and easy. For most people, the Rolls-Royce Phantom is a home on wheels. For just under $500,000, will get you anywhere you'd like to go in style. The best part about it is it looks just as great with the driver or with you driving it. Your choice.
Do I have someone drive me in it, or do I drive it? But if I have my driver drive it, then he gets to have all the fun.
And even though it's one of the most luxurious cars on the market, there's always an upgrade to be had.
They got the extended cab in the back, you know, with the refrigerator with the Grey Goose in it. can't go wrong with that. I don't quite have that in mind. Even when you got a Rolls Royce, you still got a lot of work to do.
Coming up, step inside an abode for listers.
This property attracts celebrities and anybody that wants extreme privacy and luxury.
It's so fabulous. It's such an incredible.
Mariah and Nick are living large. They live in some serious square footage.
Like Mariah's $9 million triplex in New York City's Tribeca, with 12,000 square feet of living space.
It's so fabulous. It's such an incredible place.
I don't know what you call 12,000 square feet in New York City, except excessive, gargantuan, over the top.
The palatial penthouse boasts a recording studio, gym, Moroccan room, and working salon, not to mention colossal closets.
Mariah Carey's closets are humongous. They're actually bigger than most people's full studio apartments. She has a separate room for her clothes and a whole other room for her shoes.
It's also home to one of Mariah's priciest and most prized possessions, a white lacquered baby grand piano that once belonged to Marilyn Monroe.
She's got it roped off in its own section, but who can blame her? She owns this piece of one of her idols, Marilyn Monroe, and nobody is going to be playing chopsticks on that thing.
Thank you very much.
When they're not in the Big Apple, the family of four spread out in their 11,750 square foot Bel Air mansion, recently valued at just under $13 million. The 7-bedroom, 9-bath stunner has a theater, music studio, putting green, even a lodge-themed Aspen room.
They also have a barber shop in the house for Nick Cannon to get his haircuts. They have a candy room. They have a basketball court. They have everything you could ever dream of right on their property. There's no reason to leave.
It's a beautiful situation.
But even the most beautiful of situations can get tired. So when these two stars need a break from their fabulous homes, they escape to even more fabulous vacation spots. During the month of December, you'll find them hitting the slopes in Aspen, the perfect place to spend part of their winter and their hard-earned dough.
Works for me.
I mean, Aspen is the perfect place for them. It's incredibly posh. It is really the playground of the rich and famous.
And during the summertime, the Carey Cannon family jets out to where else but the Hamptons, where they soak in some rays and relax in one of the most prestigious seaside communities.
Mariah and Nick love hanging out in the Hamptons.
Do I? Of course I do.
All the big celebrities are out there, and it's a place to really brush shoulders with everyone. So when it comes to spending money on homes in the Hamptons, they are happy to write any size check.
Absolutely.
Take a peek inside one of Nick and Mariah's favorite rental properties in the Hamptons, the Peninsula.
When people want to look at luxury real estate in the Hamptons, they call me. This magnificent Sag Harbor Hamptons estate has over 8,000 square feet, 6 bedrooms, 6.5 baths, and 650 feet direct water frontage on the bay. This property attracts celebrities, high-end Wall Street people, and anybody that wants extreme privacy and luxury. The living room just screams elegance. It has beautiful coppered ceilings and a wide open floor plan open to the kitchen, family room, and another den. It's just the most beautiful and most private estate in the Hamptons. It's called the Peninsula because it's surrounded on 3 sides by water, and you look out onto only water and no other neighbors in the area, which is very important to most celebrities that would be here. The pool is a 30 by 60 infinity edge pool. It's got jacuzzi, floating day beds. It was inspired by a resort in Bali, and you feel like you're there. It's very private. You have no neighbors looking down on you, and it's one of the nicest backyards and pool areas in the Hamptons.
Mariah and Nick reportedly shelled out $150,000 a month during the summer of 2012 to get some R&R in this stunning sanctuary. Worth it.
It was amazing.
And when the Hamptons get lame, Nick and Mariah always have another slice of paradise standing by.
Their home in the Bahamas is on a secluded private island called Windermere, and you can only get there by private plane. So if you don't know about Windermere, you can't go to Windermere.
Their $5.5 million Bahamian property boasts 4,000 square feet of indoor luxury and 3,500 square feet of outdoor opulence. The 4-part compound also has a 40-foot pool and a wraparound terrace.
You know when you have a compound, you got a lot of money.
It's amazing.
But when they're looking for a little more action, Nick doesn't play around. A couple of weeks after they got hitched, he started their marriage on the right foot when he paid a reported $250,000 to rent out Six Flags amusement park in LA for 5 hours. Just so Mariah could ride her favorite roller coasters without waiting in line. Now that's a good husband.
My wife is an icon, but at the same time, you know, she's the best wife in the world as well.
When Mariah and Nick do anything, they do it really big. They can afford to, why not?
Coming up, Mariah's gift keeps on giving.
She keeps making #1 hits and selling more and more.
And the many hats of Nick Cannon.
I got a new show that I'm directing and producing.
He really does it all.
When the fabulous life of Mariah Carey and Nick Cannon returns. When it comes to power couples, Mariah and Nick are among the hardworking in showbiz. Between them, they dominate just about every corner of the entertainment world.
Mariah Carey is still the biggest selling female artist of all time. She sold over 200 million records.
This is something that I didn't really expect, but it's an amazing honor.
I don't think anyone can compare to Mariah, and it's not just her range that's amazing. It's sort of the texture of her voice. It's actually the versatility of her voice.
With 18 #1 singles and 5 Grammys to her name, Mariah has ruled the charts for more than 20 years and shows no signs of stopping.
She keeps making #1 hits and selling more and more, and she has the type of voice that she can outsing anyone in the business. So she's gonna stay relevant forever because she is Mariah Carey.
And Mariah's special voice earns a very special paycheck. Back in 2001, she signed an $80 million contract with Virgin Records, which at the time was the biggest in music history.
I feel very, very honored.
And if you want Mariah to croon at your son's bar mitzvah, get ready to lay down some serious shekels.
To this day, Mariah Carey gets at least $1 million for private performances, which she does year-round.
She comes in, she sings a few songs, and she leaves with $1 million.
What's up, everybody?
Think that's a big paycheck? We're just getting started. Mariah's the highest paid reality TV judge ever, raking in a reported $18 million for just one season of American Idol.
Mariah is one of the original pop divas. So when she was chosen to judge on Idol, it was a major, major win for the show.
When it comes to singing, real talent, Mariah Carey's it.
She's a genius when it actually comes to making music.
And Nick's a genius when it comes to everything else. Nick got an early start in acting and comedy at the tender age of 11. Now he's best known as the host with the most.
He takes home about $70,000 for each episode of America's Got Talent, which is not too shabby.
After 5 seasons, that's more than $10 million. And these days, Nick splits his time between both sides of the camera. He's the chairman at Teen Nick, a part of Nickelodeon, the very network where Cannon got his start as a cast member on the sketch comedy show All That.
The Nick in Nickelodeon.
Add to that his own record label and TV production company.
He directed and produced a film for Lionsgate, his comedy specials on Showtime. I mean, he really does it all.
So it's no surprise that People magazine named him one of the top 10 most successful young people in Hollywood.
Hopefully my kids see that and follow the example.
Both Nick and Mariah have applied their considerable talents into expanding their brands. Because when you're already making millions, why not make more millions? Mariah opted for the beauty and fashion route.
She expanded her brand as the years went on to include perfume line, clothing lines. I mean, she really wanted to be more than just a singer.
And she succeeded, launching a limited edition nail polish line with OPI, an Elizabeth Arden fragrance, as well as a jewelry and shoe line for the Home Shopping Network.
She had butterfly bows and sparkle and glitter. The aesthetic was really fun and playful and reflective of her style. Yes, indeed.
And it was Mariah's eye for business that inspired her to take out $1 billion insurance policy on her famous legs.
I've never heard of a more expensive policy than $1 billion on your legs.
That's part of what makes her famous is herself. So she has a lot of money invested in herself.
Great legs. But I would insure the voice for $1 billion before the legs. If something happens to the legs, they could just wheel her out on stage and she can still sing.
You caught me off guard with that one.
No matter what, this fantasy singer would still have a leg to stand on thanks to her investment in Angel Rose champagne. It's up to $1,500 a bottle. Made by the fab, for the fab.
It's pink, it's bubbly, it's expensive, meaning it's perfect for Mariah.
And Nick's no slouch in the branding department either.
Nick Cannon is a multi-talented mogul in his own right. He has a headphones line, he has a clothing line.
Nick's line of neckties is sold exclusively at Macy's. And through his incredible production company, he hawks tablets, backpacks, and school supplies. He even has a popular line of headphones that have made over $45 million in sales.
So as if Nick weren't doing enough in the entertainment industry, he's also now attached himself to several different brands. He has really diversified himself in every single way.
It's all working out. It's a good thing.
Coming up, their bankrolls might be big.
Nick and Mariah together are one of the richest couples in the world.
But so are their hearts.
Well, I feel like, I'm blessed so I can be a blessing.
Next on The Fabulous Life of Mariah Carey and Nick Cannon. Mariah Carey and Nick Cannon are on top of their game and on top of the world.
This is amazing.
And all that hard work has put them in the top 1% of the 1%.
Nick and Mariah are very hard-working people. So for them, it's not about let's just amass all this money and sit around. They're going to keep working.
I've been DJing a lot, designing my clothing line, type of stuff. I got a new show that I'm directing and producing.
Mariah Carey's going to keep doing her albums. Don't be surprised if she has another #1 hit to extend that streak.
I'll always make music. I'll always sing and write songs, but writing songs is something I just have to do for me as an individual.
Nick and Mariah together are one of the richest couples in the world.
These two megastars have a combined estimated net worth of over $500 million. Which one is worth more? We'll never tell. Okay, it's Mariah.
Oh my goodness.
$530 million is enough dough to celebrate a Disneyland anniversary every year for the next 50 years, with enough money left over for 100 pairs of diamond loafers and 5,000 diamond ring pops.
I'm ready. I'm so ready. I can't wait.
When the Cannons aren't splashing bucks on mega purchases, they're being mega charitable.
Nick and Mariah have a lot of money, and they like to spend a lot of money, but they also give a lot of money to charity.
It feels good to be able to give back. I feel like, I'm blessed.
Mariah Mariah's involved with several charities, including Save the John's AIDS Foundation and the Make-A-Wish Foundation, where she gave $100,000, granting the wishes of 20 kids.
Mariah even partnered with the Fresh Air Fund to create Camp Mariah, which is a place for inner city kids to go do career development.
It's one of my favorite places in the world.
And Nick has worked with Office Depot to give 20 backpacks full of school supplies to underprivileged kids around the U.S. He also created the Team Nick Halo Awards to honor teens who are active in community service.
It's not about me tonight. It's about all the young people, the honorees. They've done way more than I could ever do, and they're just getting started. So that's the beauty of the Halo Awards.
So you just really see him getting out and giving back to the communities, and it's good to see them get a platform and just a way to showcase these young people that are.
Both Nick and Ma have reaped Horizon